Should I keep paying rent, or is it finally time to buy my own place? It's a huge question, right? It's emotional, it's complicated, and pretty much every one of us living in a city in India has to face it. But what if, just for a moment, we could put the emotions on hold and just let the numbers do the talking? Let's break it all down. Okay, right off the bat, you can see why there's no simple answer to this question. The whole financial puzzle hinges on this one key number, the rental yield. And look at this, a seemingly small difference between 2.9% in Delhi and 3.8% in Bangalore can completely flip the script on what makes financial sense. So understanding this number, that's our first and most important step.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll start with that core concept, then we'll build the financial case for renting, and then for buying. After that, we'll put them head to head to see what the data says, and finally, we'll give you a framework to help you make your own call. Sound good? Let's go. All right, first up, let's get to grips with the single most important idea in this whole debate. So, what on earth is rental yield? It's actually pretty simple. It's the total rent you pay in 1 year, shown as a percentage of what the property is actually worth. So let's say there's a 50 lakh rupee house. A 3% rental yield just means the annual rent is about 1.5 lakh rupees. See? This is the magic number that directly connects the cost of renting to the cost of owning. Now, let's talk about team rent. You always hear people say renting is just throwing money away, right? Well, there's a really powerful financial argument for renting that honestly most people completely miss. And here's where it gets really interesting. If you're thinking about buying, you're probably already mentally prepared for a big monthly loan payment, an EMI. Let's say it's around 27,000 rupees. But your actual rent for a similar place, say in Delhi, could be way less than half of that. It's that huge gap between what you could pay and what you do pay that is the secret weapon here. Now that surplus, that 15,000 plus rupees a month in our example, that's not just savings for a rainy day. No way. This is powerful investment capital. Instead of that money going to a bank as interest on a loan, you can put it to work for you in the market, making its own money. This, right here, is the core of the financial argument for renting. So, you pay rent for 20 years, but you're a disciplined investor with that extra cash. Where do you land? The results are pretty wild. In Delhi, the numbers show you actually come out ahead financially. But look at Mumbai, and especially Bangalore. The higher rents there mean you'd actually end up with a net loss compared to if you had just bought the place. Which, of course, brings us to the other side of the argument. Okay, let's flip the coin. Buying a home feels solid, right? A real asset. But that sticker price? Oh, that's just the beginning of the story. The true cost is much, much higher. And this chart just lays it all out there. For a 50 lakh rupee house, just look at the total cash you're paying out over 20 years. The bank interest alone is a mind-boggling 38 lakh rupees. Then you add in maintenance, registration, and suddenly the real cost is nearly double the price tag. You're not just buying a house, you're funding a whole bunch of other expenses. Let's just boil it down to one single, powerful number. The real, inflation-adjusted cost to buy and own that 50 lakh house for 2 decades is 82 lakh rupees. That's the real commitment. It's almost double what you thought you were paying. Okay, wait. With costs like that, why on earth would anyone buy a house? There has to be a huge upside to make all those expenses worth it, right? And there is. It all comes down to one powerful force: asset appreciation. You're making a bet that the value of your property is going to grow and grow over time, eventually making all those years of interest and costs totally worth it in the end. Okay, so we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly for both sides. Now it's time for the main event. Let's put renting and buying into the ring, use our 20-year model, and see which one comes out on top. And here it is, the verdict. After running the numbers for 20 years, you can see that in Delhi and Mumbai, renting and investing that difference is actually the winning financial strategy. But in Bangalore, because of that higher rental yield we talked about, buying the house creates more wealth in the long run. The right answer really, truly depends on where you live. But hold on, there is another huge piece to this puzzle: your time horizon. How long are you planning to stay? If you're looking at a 10-year window, renting is almost always the clear financial winner. At 20 years, like we just saw, it gets complicated. But if you stretch that timeline out to 30 years, well, the raw power of asset appreciation usually makes buying the champion. So the numbers give us a fantastic guide, but at the end of the day, this isn't just a math problem on a spreadsheet, it's a life decision. So let's build a final framework to help you make a choice that's not just good for your wallet, but good for you. These are the questions you gotta ask yourself. First, am I really staying here for the long haul? Second, can I truly afford that EMI without being stressed? A good rule of thumb is to keep it under 40% of your income. Third, what do I value more right now? The stability of owning or the flexibility to pack up and move? And finally, just be honest. Am I emotionally ready for what is probably the biggest purchase of my entire life? Ultimately, it really does come down to this. The data is incredible for pointing you in the right direction, but it can't make the choice for you. The best decision is one that works on paper and feels right in your gut, one that aligns with your personal need for a home, for security, stability, and just plain old comfort. The numbers are the map, but you are the driver.